Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Marilyn Shannon, and this is the Breaking Free Show. It is January 19th, and I am so happy to see you all. Yes, I can see you. I can feel you. It's great to have you all here. I know your time is precious, and as I say every week, I am honored, delighted, excited to have you join us as always. So thank you very much. I want to say hello to Amnon, who is our producer.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. And you?
I'm just fine.
Yeah.
Finally, we have sun.
We have sun.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, I didn't even know what to wear today. It's been so cold. I wear my my heavy Uggy boots every day. I don't even know what to wear. It's
Yep.
been so cold and like feet cold.
But it's nice.
But it's nice.
It's nice.
How's life?
Life is, knock on wood, fine.
That's
No
what we like to
complaints.
hear, right?
Yep.
That's what I like to hear. Yeah, life has been interesting. I think a lot of people are feeling that way. 2015 is going to be a very interesting year. It's full of power, full of energy, and roll up your sleeves and surround yourself. Here's a message: surround yourself with people who are of like minds, because it's a year full of powerful, positive energy, or let's say energy, and you can use it any way you want. If you want to use the energy powerfully for good, it's there. If you're not using it so powerfully for good, and it may be a lot of negativity around you, it's going to feel that way. So surround yourself with people who support you in what you want to do, because it is very powerful. And with people who are of like minds, we can hold each other up and support each other and bear the energy together. And I think that's what's going to be really, really, really important. Right? Okay, so we have a new way of doing the show today. We don't have any particular guests, as we've always done in the past. And I would love to welcome all of you, invite you to call in, tell me what's on your mind. 919-518-9773. And if you're somewhere in the world and you don't have access to a telephone and want to call 919 area code, please feel free to use our chat. That's computers, plural. The number 2, K voice, and you'll come on in on Skype voice, and you can share what's on your mind. You can also go into our chat and write your name underneath the box next to the video, and write a comment there about something. We'd love to hear from you. I want this to be like a fireside chat, like something where we're gathered around our living room and we're just talking, that we're discussing current events, things that matter, anything we want. And so I welcome you to do that. One of the first things I think we should pay attention to today, until anybody else calls in, is the fact that it's Martin Luther King, right?
Yep.
And it's a special day. It's a day of reflecting, I think, and sharing information, and let's pay attention to all the wonderful things that we could reflect upon. And so I put together some slides about from Martin Luther King and some of the amazing things that he has said. And I would love to go through them with you and discuss them. Ready? Here we go. Okay. So I have decided to love. If you are seeking the highest good, I think you can find it through love. And the beautiful thing is that we are moving against wrong when we do it, because John was right. God is love. He who hates does not know God, but he who has love has the key that unlocks the door to the meaning of ultimate reality. I think that's really so powerful. And that the fact that he said this in 1967 about love, and how powerful it is, and how it is the ultimate key to life and living and getting along and accomplishing anything that we want to. So, wonderful message from Martin Luther King. Next one. I love this one. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, You have to keep moving forward. Powerful, right? So no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, do something. And I think we tend to get into a habit of measuring it, like it has to be the run, that the walk is just not enough. That's not true. We need runners, we need walkers, we need people on bicycles, we need people who crawl, we need us all. So keep that in mind. And I want to just check out and see if is there anything on the comment that we want to pay attention to yet? No. Okay. Here we go. The next one. A riot is the language of the unheard. What do you think? What do you mean, nah? What do you mean? A riot is the language of the unheard. Why no? Why do you think no?
I mean, I don't think there should be a riot to begin with.
Absolutely. But they are the unheard.
No, that's not true.
What, okay.
I mean, if they can be heard through a riot, then they could be unheard without the riot.
What does it mean to be heard?
It's noticed.
Okay. So this is interesting because hearing and listening or noticing, it can be all very, very different.
Sure.
Because so if somebody feels like they've been really heard, really listened to, they don't have to riot.
Right.
Because they're being heard.
Right.
So a riot is the language of people who don't feel like they're being heard.
Who don't feel like
That's
being
all
heard.
it is. Don't feel like they're being heard.
Yeah, but I mean, I want to take it a little farther.
Go ahead.
And look at it
I'd
and
love
say,
you to. Go ahead.
And say that if you know how to riot, then you should know how to get yourself heard the right way. And it's true that quote is true, because a lot of these people don't know how to
be heard
or how to organize in a way to get heard.
Exactly.
And the reason why I'm saying this here now is, I mean, first of all, I'm against any kind of rioting.
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't do anything
right
to promote your agenda, but it hurts a lot of other people.
Right.
Now, I don't know if you heard that in the news about the Ferguson thing.
Well, a little bit, yeah.
About Soros.
What about
who funded it?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
He put millions of dollars into, and again, this is what
into what part of
into that? Rioting. He got people to go in and riot. Why not take that money and put ads and do it in a constructive way to get the problems and the points or whatever they want to, yeah, Black Lives Matters. When didn't they matter? Years and years ago, maybe they didn't.
Right.
But I always felt like Black Lives Matter. So what are you making a big deal out of it? And why are you going and hurting people that you don't know that are actually maybe big supporters of yours?
Right.
Well, that's the problem. Sure, you can say frustration.
Yes.
And you go and you kill policemen. What did it do for them? Tell me, how did any of this problem that we had that started with that kid getting shot that turned out a positive thing? I can't think of anything positive that came out of it.
Well, everything has something positive to pull from it, even if it's just the awareness and the disgust. If more people take a look at what happened and go, this is really disgusting, we can't do this anymore, that's a positive.
That is a positive, but I'm not talking about from the people looking at it. I'm talking from the people who did it. What did it do for them?
But people think that if they are rioting or if they're screaming, they're being heard.
They are being heard, but they're not being understood or listened to.
Right, exactly.
And if anything, it takes them back.
Exactly. But that's what we want people to understand. Wouldn't that be just a fabulous piece of life if we can say, listen, you don't have to scream at me.
Right.
I don't have to scream at you, right? Just let's talk.
Yeah.
Right? Because the more we talk, even if we don't agree.
Right.
This is the thing. We do not have to agree. Listening is not agreement.
But it's too easy to riot and to go out and burn cars and to go out and, and especially when you have somebody who's
Yes.
coming in there, elements
Yes.
that are coming in there
Yes.
and inciting you.
Right.
And it doesn't do anything
No.
for the people that live there. And I
Right.
feel sorry for the people who live there. I mean, look at all the black people that suffered because of all that thing.
Everybody.
Why?
Anybody. You know, my husband often says, why do we... So replace the word riot with war, right? Let's go
Right.
back and look at this quote again. War, let's say it this way. War is the language of the unheard.
Yeah. Okay.
So why don't we just take the money that war costs
Oh, boy.
and go ahead and build schools? Okay, so
Absolutely.
let me go into Afghanistan, Iran, all these places and say, you know what? Let me give you money and let me build you some hospitals. Let me build you some kind of infrastructure. What would happen
Right.
then?
Everything would be fine. And and you can take it to the Middle East.
Yeah.
After the 67 war,
Yeah.
Israel went and built roads and
Yes.
built this and built
Yes.
and everybody was productive
Yes.
and everybody
And they did it
exchanged.
fast too.
Yeah.
Doesn't take long.
Until some elements came in who said, hey, if this is going to go on, then the Palestinians and the Israelis are going to start living in peace. That's going to further our agenda. And somehow they managed to drive a wedge between the two. But yeah, if you take all this money and you put it into
Good.
good, oh yeah, it does a lot more
Oh, it
good.
does
And you know what? And it stays there.
Yes.
It's not like the bad stuff that you forget about 2 or 3 weeks later.
And it
It's fine.
grows money.
Yep.
Doesn't just cost
Absolutely.
money, it grows money. So I want to welcome everybody that's in the chat, and I want to welcome everybody who's in the chat that hasn't said anything yet, and everybody out there. So we're going to have all kinds of great conversations, but, we'd love to hear from you. Tell us what's on your mind, how you felt today, what you're thinking, what was on your mind yesterday. That all matters. The more we can share how we are thinking, what matters, I want this to be a place that you can say anything that you would like, and you're going to be heard, noticed, listened to, respected, all of those things. That's what it means. So that's a really interesting quote. A riot is the language of the unheard. So there's a lot of work that has to be done, and the more we can share, the less and the more we'll be listened to, not having to be in a
Did you
riot.
see what Chris put in there about?
No, what you
that?
put?
Read it.
Oh, let me go there.
MLK also said,
Where is it? MLK also said the limitation of riots, moral questions aside, is that they cannot win and their participants know it. Hence, rioting is not revolutionary, but reactionary, because it invites defeat. It involves an emotional catharsis. Absolutely.
the only thing I don't agree with here
Which piece?
is the part about their participants know it, that they cannot win. I don't think those young kids who went rioting knew it. I
Oh, you don't think
they
so?
really believe that they're going to gain something.
Possibly, but do you? I also and I think this is really an interesting. It's very subtle, but don't you think that they feel that some of them feel so angry and so defeated,
Oh, yeah.
and so already defeated that they don't feel like they can win?
In other words, they went out there to punish.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they go out
True.
there to punish. They go out there to say, we're going down, but we're
But-
gonna go down hard.
But punishing somebody is also putting you as the winner. Okay, you won something. Oh, you did that? I'm going to do this to you. So now it makes me feel better.
They never win.
Right. They don't. That's
They
my
never
point
win.
about the
And
whole
I'm going to
thing.
talk about that in a little while. I'm glad you brought that up because last night was a really interesting show. I think it was, I don't know if it was Dateline or what. It was at NBC, and it was a story about these teenagers who have been bullied, and that there's a nonprofit out of New York, and I think it's called Babyface or something, and it's all these plastic surgeons who perform surgery on kids who have deformities. And it was very interesting because some of the kids they were talking to last night had been bullied. And they were saying how, well, if you do this, what's the state? If you help a kid who's got some deformity and they've been bullied, who's winning? And I said, bullies never win.
No,
Bullies never win.
they never do.
They never win. I mean, how could you win when you're full of rage?
Right.
There's no winning. But we're going to talk about that in a minute because it's an interesting concept. But let's see. If you have anybody out there, remember, you can call in anytime. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so here's a famous one. I have a dream. I have a dream. I have hope. I have an insight. I have a picture of what it's going to look like and what it could look like. I have a dream. I mean, that's a really an oldie but goodie. Okay, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that.
Yeah,
Makes perfect sense, right?
absolutely.
I mean, hate to hate can't do anything. Cannot wash it away, can
No,
it?
it just
What
grows.
makes people
and
think that? What makes people think that it can? I just can't understand it. How could you think that you could? Even our government. How could you go to war and do all of these things and think you're going to change? How do they even think for 1 second that's going to make a difference? How can they think that?
when it comes to situations like that, I can think like that too, to a point. I mean, if you have a faction that is oppressing people, and you're going to go to war, and you figure it like this: we're going to take this faction out, and then the people are going to stand up and say, okay, now we know how it used to be. Now we're going to make things good. Then it can work. But unfortunately, the people could never stand up.
Do we even know what
It's-
we're fighting for now? I mean, do you have any idea?
At this point, with what's going on in the Middle East,
Yeah.
it's that those extremist Muslims want to set up the whole area as a caliphate, which means everybody's going to live by
Muslim.
their Muslim law. And-
Their Muslim law, because
their-
other Muslims don't believe that law.
and they kill them.
Right.
So that's what we're fighting. Is that it's? I mean, if the problem is if we don't fight it, everybody's saying, "Well, you stood on the sidelines when they were just killing us." I guess after the Holocaust, we feel like when we see something like this happening, we have to get involved, because otherwise nobody's going to do anything about it, and thousands and hundreds of thousands or millions of people are going to get killed.
Right.
And don't think that it's not going to come here. I'm sure it will.
Well, it has.
Yeah,
I mean,
right. Yeah.
I mean,
It's-
who knows? You know, lots of
Right.
other. The threat is all around us for all kinds.
And it's not a big group of people.
Not in the scheme of things, is it?
No, in the
It's-
scheme of things, it's not a big
Right.
group of people.
It's compared to. So what do we have? So we have to. So something. So we have to keep talking about the things that this show wants to talk about freedom, about empowerment, about education, about standing up for ourselves, about control, dissecting everything that we can dissect to change where we are. I came up with a line the other day. You know, I'm really into listening, and I love anything that has to do with listening. And listening is the path less traveled. And I don't know why. We're not listening deeper, greater, fuller. It's levels of this life. So anyway, here's another one that Amnon's going to put up about, and I think it's my last one that I have about Martin Luther King. So you're going to put up the last one? Okay. There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe nor politic nor popular, but he must take it because conscience tells him it is right. That is like being out on that skinny branch and standing up for something that is scary. I mean, he died, but he got himself killed. And there's been times, honestly, where we've been doing shows that somebody said, here, oh, you're speaking against this, you're speaking against that, you're talking about empowerment, you're talking against that. I haven't had, I mean, a little flicker of, oh my God, what am I doing? Somebody's gonna like bomb my house or
Mhm.
something. There have been times on our, our world here that I have thought that. What do you think, Nan?
No, I mean, yeah, this is. I mean, but
It's a chance you take, right?
you have to.
It's
I
I
mean, you do
have
it
to.
every. I mean, it's the only way to live happily is if.
Hmm.
I mean, if you have an opinion about something, let people know.
Yeah,
And those that don't like it, just don't like it. Now, if you try to force it on people, it's a whole different story.
right, right. But I feel in some ways obligated. I don't know everything, and I don't know everything there is to know about current events, and I don't know who did this, and I don't know what happened in 1970 that made somebody do this, or what happened in this country. I don't know all of that. But what I know is something about mankind. And I know what happens when people connect, when they listen to each other, when they respect each other, when there's certain things, when we live our passions, when we share, when we do good service, there's just something that happens. And the more that we do that, the better I think it's going to be. So what do we have here? Is there something I need to read?
Yeah, Suzie Ani. Did
This
you read it?
last thing? Okay, so Suzie Ani says, when I was in the sixth grade, we crossed picket lines to get into school. Our school in Malvern, Long Island, was the first school in the north to desegregate, and this involved busing. All hell broke loose. Crosses burned on the front lawn of the school. We made history right there in the middle of the civil rights movement of the early 60s. Yeah, I mean, I remember things, don't you? Do you remember things?
I mean, I was in Israel,
Oh,
but
you
I
were in
remember
Israel.
this all going on. Look what Kathy said up there, which makes a lot of sense above that.
They don't feel they are being heard, and they don't have the wise leadership that Martin Luther King provided many about violence not being the answer. That is
Yeah,
really interesting.
yeah.
So do we not have? I mean, seriously, I mean, I have to think about this. And Kathy, do we not have someone today who stands up and talks about freedom
We
and
have a
who's a
lot of people that
leadership,
do, but
but
you don't. I can't think of anybody with.
that's taken a position like Martin Luther King?
I don't. I don't think there is anyone.
There's nobody out here talking about leadership.
I,
That's impactful to me.
can you think of anybody?
Not really.
No.
Nobody who's doing it peacefully.
That's the problem. We're
Is
talking
that
about
that's the
peacefully. Oh, I
issue,
mean, a
right?
lot of people are doing it in a violent way and inciting violence. But yeah,
Sharpton. Oh,
Sharpton.
ooh,
I
that's
mean,
scary to me. That's really scary. That's very interesting. If anybody has any comment about that, I would love to hear
Don't anybody.
what you have
Don't
to say.
anybody compare Sharpton.
No, no,
to
I'm not even thinking about that.
MLK, you know.
But if anybody has any idea of who that person is, or any idea about that, I'd love to hear what you have to say, because that's a void. I mean, really and truly, that's a void. You know what I love, though? I love going back and listening to old music that talks about the things that we want to talk about, the peace and love, and I mean, from like the John Denver days, and from the '60s. I love talking. I love early '70s and hippie types. I love that. But you're right, though, we don't have that now. That's really crazy. So Martin Luther King, we that's a great person. We thank for not having to celebrate, excuse me, for the opportunity to celebrate and reflect.
It's a person that made a lot, impacted the world in a big way.
In a big way that
Yeah.
we're still talking about.
Yeah.
And there are a lot, and I know I think it was Suzie Ani earlier in the chat said that there are a lot of businesses that are not closed today. There are a lot of businesses that are open today.
Most businesses
are open today. Even the
Schools
federal
are.
government is the government banks
I
are
don't know.
closed, but is the government offices open?
I don't know.
Yeah, interesting.
I would think so because
Yeah.
it's a federal thing. So I would think that they're closed.
Cool. Okay, so last night I started talking about the show that was on NBC, and it was extremely powerful. So it was the story of this nonprofit in New York who has a team, and I mean a team, of surgeons, plastic surgeons, that work on children who have deformities. It could be a cleft lip. It could be something with their nose. It could be their ears. It could be some deformity in their face. All kinds. And they had the story of 4 teenagers last night who have been bullied. One girl has a condition, and with her eyes were really funky. One boy had a nose that was like really, really a big nose, and you could see he was cute, you know. One kid claimed he had no chin, and then one girl had a really big nose, and her face was crooked. And these kids have been tormented. The girl with the really crooked nose and her face was like off, wouldn't go to school anymore. And these kids were really sad, just wanting to commit suicide. I thought it was such an interesting show because, of course, there was a therapist who said, we shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be allowing these children to have surgery, plastic surgery, because of somebody else, because of a bully. And I stopped and I thought, and I could see that to a point, that we should feel good from the inside. It doesn't matter what we look on the outside. Who cares what we look on the outside when, you see people walk into a room and whatever they look like, they seem to carry this great energy and grace, and people admire them, and they still have something wrong with them. So we shouldn't be giving a message to children or to anybody that plastic surgery is the answer, and that no matter what. And it was very interesting. And then I thought, okay, then maybe everybody should take off their makeup, because what's the difference? And, maybe we shouldn't be doing this, and maybe we shouldn't do that. And I thought it was extremely interesting, because I was agreeing with these kids that in these cases, if plastic surgery was an answer, then why not? What do you think?
Anything that would make people feel better, and what am I trying to say? Would help people get better, feel better about themselves. In a society, it always makes society feel better. Why do they put these shows on? Right. It makes people feel good to see that, okay, there's good being done in the world. It makes you feel good. When you watch a war, you say, oh, geez,
So you mean about the doctors that were willing to help these kids?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like he said to these doctors, he found great doctors. These doctors were brilliant. He said, would you like to be doing, honestly, would you like to be just doing nose lifts, face lifts, boob jobs on people, lift their butts? Or would you like to be helping these kids?
Mm-hmm.
So that in itself, and they get money, obviously.
Sure.
And they're really making a difference.
Yeah.
Well, they're making a difference because these kids could not afford, these families could not afford to have these surgeries. And some of the kids, I'm a layman, so what do I know, right? So one of the kids, her nose, was constricting her, was not allowing her to breathe, constricting her nose. And the boy was the same way. And, it's not the whole thing. It's a piece. But I ask you, is anything that you can do, one by one, that makes a difference with how you feel, isn't that important?
Of course.
It's not the whole thing, right? If you lose weight, it's not everything, but it's one thing towards empowering yourself. Right? If you read a great book, it's not everything, but it's one thing, right? It's just like that quote that Martin Luther
was not built in a
right.
day.
It's like what Martin Luther King said, right? if you don't run, at least walk,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you can't walk, at least crawl or roll, do something. So I would tend to say that it was a really, because I would never normally have subscribed to that way of thinking. Like, oh, go do plastic surgery. But it really taught me something last night. And I was really fascinated by the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great. And I loved how the kids, and the girl with the funky eyes, she, whatever condition it was, I don't remember. They couldn't do anything with her eyes. They had to do something with her nose and with her ears so that the eyes so that the eyes would look more normal. And when she got done, she said, "I'm done now." It wasn't a tremendous difference to her, but it was enough, whether it was enough from her heart or whatever, it was enough. And one of her friends said, all she did was miss her while she was gone, and she didn't think anything was ever wrong with her to begin with. So it was a beautiful show. I'd love to see more things like that,
Yeah.
because and the
See,
whole
that's the
notion,
whole point. That it's a positive thing, and it makes us feel
yes,
good about it. And if there was something that you could do for other people that you were kind of on the fence, something like this may take you.
yes,
You say,
Yeah.
"Wow, look, they did this.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Mean, I should do that." It makes
Yeah.
you. It's a good feeling. It's a
it is
warm
a good
fuzzy.
thing. I think that you have to think about what it is what's the message. If you're somebody who has issues already. I mean, how many times can you do your face for just cosmetic reasons? But certainly there are you know circumstances beyond those that make it really worthwhile. Okay, so what do we have here? Suzie Ani is saying, in today's appearance-oriented society, yes, I too agreed. But then there was this girl on one of the daytime talk shows last week whose face was deformed from birth, cleft palate, no teeth, bald, etc. And she models for a living and would not change a thing about her looks. They offered her teeth and she was thinking she did not want them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. That's great. It does make you you wonder, right? It
You
does make
wonder, but you can understand her, and I'll bet that person is an activist within. About that whole condition, and there's a whole lot more impact if you are like that, and you have the exposure.
Oh, she models from the neck down.
Oh,
So she's using what she has.
yeah, yeah.
So she's made the best of what she has. Just like that, I don't know if you remember that woman we had on our show, Whitney, several months ago, who was quite overweight, and she dances
Oh, yeah. Yes,
she
the one
dances.
from
Yeah,
Greensboro, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it does send a good message, but the thing is that I think people get confused by is that they think that you fix one thing, that fixes everything. It's still an inside job. It's still an inside job coming out. It is not, you don't change your hair and make it all better. You don't change your this and make it all better. It's still an inside job. You still have to do your work. No matter what, you still have to do your work. So let's see. Okay. So it was an interesting show, and I would, if you can go back and watch it, I think it does really shed some light. And I thought the other interesting thing was some of the reactions from the parents that were on the show. Like, there were some parents really wanted this for their children, and it's interesting that the kid that didn't think he had a chin. I mean, he had a small something. I don't care what you call it. It's
What we would consider.
Yeah, to me it was a chin.
Yeah.
I mean, it might have been little. His mother was completely against it, him having anything. She wanted him to, feel his best no matter what. And he was the kid that they did not take. And I'm thinking, because his problem wasn't that big, and I'm thinking that in itself is another good message for this kid, that your issue isn't recognized as a big one. So it was all very cool. So anyway, anybody have anything on your mind that you want to talk about, or any person that you are feeling that we should talk about? Anybody famous? Anybody doing anything out there that you think would be great for us to notice? Please share it in the chat. Give us a call. Whatever's on your mind, we'd love to hear about it. That's going to be our rolling going forward motto, is what's on your mind? What's in your heart? Please let us know. 919-518-9773, or you can contact us at computers 2K Voice. That's the number 2, K Voice on Skype. So I've copied some really interesting articles. Let me see. That I thought we would go over also, but so there's going to wait.
Go over it. I have to go bathroom.
Okay, so we have so there's going to be some kind of tax hike coming up on the wealthy to help support the middle class. Obama is doing that. Mitt Romney wants to be known as the reinvention candidate for anti-poverty warrior, which is interesting because he didn't come off that way in the last election. So that's going to be very interesting. Here's something that I thought was really cool. There's a new app, and it's to help the blind. It's help the blind through video chat. So this is really very cool. So if you are connected with this app and you say, let's say that you are a seeing sight person and you want to help, that you're somebody that they notify. So let's say I'm blind and I'm in the grocery store and I'm grocery shopping. Of course I can't see and there's no braille, that I could video chat with you if you are signed up, and you can tell me to the left or to the right what I'm looking at and what I should buy. I think that's pretty cool that there is that app to help this. What I like is that we are helping each other. I think that's really important. No matter what is being done on the outside, and when I talk about the outside, I'm talking about, and I don't even want to say it this way, the powers that be, because I don't think we should give anybody that kind of control and power. But I think when I talk about the outside, I'm talking about like the government, the outside circle, the outer circle. Those of us, all of us, the powerfuls, our human race, our mankind, citizens of the world, we're in this circle, and we are being led, guided, forced on some level to support and help each other. And so this type of app is very interesting because we are having to do these things and we're helping each other. So I think it's really important to notice that and pay attention to the things that we can do, that they're not going anywhere. Let's see. Suzie Ani says, the inner sanctum. Yes. No matter what, that's going back to something that we were talking about a bit earlier about the inside job, what I mean by the inside job. No matter what you do on the outside, doing something, you got to do your inside work. You got to do your heart work. You got to do your soul work. You got to do your intuition work. No matter what other people say, no matter what you see or you think you see, doing your inside job is very important for anything. Anything. We've got to build what we want for ourselves, and it's only going to come from the inside. So does any of you know what intimacy means? Anyone? Into me see. That is the definition of intimacy. Into me see. That's what it means. It means that we are working on a snapshot of who we are and what we are from the inside. And anytime we get intimate, whether it's with ourselves or somebody else, we are allowing somebody to see who we are on the inside. So it's very important. It's very cool. Let's see. Suzie Ani says, the Inner Sanctum was an old radio show. Guess I am showing my age. Well, maybe you are, but that's okay. Who cares? So,
I remember that.
You do?
I heard that the inner sanctum.
What did you hear?
I don't remember, but I mean,
What did you don't know?
it sounds familiar.
Really? I don't know. I never heard. I don't think I ever heard of it. But anyway, okay. So, you got some. I have some jokes.
Jokes.
Yes, let's do some jokes. Okay, you ready? Okay, here's the first one. If it's true that opposites attract, I should be looking for someone that gets up early and does stuff. That was cute. You know, I have to say something. I wanted to have some humor because I think it's so healthy and healing and everything. I knew we were going to talk about Martin Luther King. It's hard to find on the internet, on Google. It's hard to find funny jokes that are clean. I had a really hard time finding them that are not against people, too, that are not making fun of people.
Well, you need to search for clean jokes.
I did.
Okay.
Trust me. Okay, here's one. Caution, men at work. Women work all the time. Men have to put up signs when they work. Is that cute?
Well,
Isn't that cute? Do you have any jokes? Did anybody ever tell you jokes that you can remember? Where did jokes like those come
there's a
from?
knock-knock going on.
There's what?
There's a knock-knock going on.
Oh,
in the
there's a
chat.
knock-knock? Okay, let's see.
Who's there?
Where is it? Where is it?
At
Oh,
the bottom. It's
okay.
still going.
Who's there? Olive. Who's there? Olive who? Olive you? Oh, that's cute, Suzie Ani. Oh, I like that. Yeah, let's more of those, okay? More of those. I like to hear them.
All right.
Okay, here's another one, right? Let's see. Here's another one. Okay, does running late count as exercise? Does it?
Of course it does. I know people that do it all the time.
That run late? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exercise. It's a new form of exercise. Okay, this is my week. Monday number 2, Monday number 3, Monday number 4, Friday, Saturday, and pre-Monday. Now the pre-Monday thing, Sundays how do you like Sunday?
I love Sunday.
See, now I love Sunday now, but there was a time when I did not love Sunday.
Oh, because Monday was coming
Yes,
after
and
that?
I guess I didn't like what I did. But now I can honestly say I love my Sundays. Sunday's a great day I just love, it's like my alone time Sunday. I love it. Okay, here's the next one. Whenever I have a problem, I sing. Then I realize that my voice is a lot worse than my problem. Cute, huh? Okay, here's another one, the last one. The good news is you'll stay here. The bad news is your luggage has gone to hell. Cute, right? Is that cute?
Yeah.
Okay, so I am excited about some things that I am working on, and I wanted to share it because I would love anybody that's listening to work with me on it. So I am in the process of...
You see what Chris is
No,
saying?
what? What'd she say? It's my new favorite. What?
No.
No, that was Chris, not me. Oh, Olive, anyone... Olive, everyone here. Oh,
Okay, next.
these are good. Okay, did she just do that
Look
herself?
what she wrote after all of everyone here.
I don't see anything. I don't have anything there.
You don't have anything
No.
after? Come on.
Where? Read it.
It says, I used to get really grumpy on Sunday evenings, and then I started working with Marilyn.
Where is that?
It's right below Olive, everyone here.
I didn't see that. Wow.
Can you scroll down in your chat?
Nope. I don't see it. It's
I
not
don't
here.
understand.
Me either. It wasn't for me to read. That's all I could say. It's not here.
You're not seeing anything after that. After... No, it's at the bottom. What's at the very bottom? What's the last?
That's it. Olive, everyone
Yeah,
here.
what's
These
above
are
that?
good. It's my new favorite. I don't see anything. Knock, knock. Who's there? Olive. Who's
what's
there? Who?
above-
Olive.
Okay,
Olive,
never
you,
mind. Let's
Suzie.
not get
No,
into
I don't
this.
have it.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't have it. Guess I have to go get her some glasses. Oh, that
I
reminds
didn't
me.
clean it, huh?
No, you didn't clean my glasses, but I ordered new glasses. I ordered a really beautiful shade of blue.
Okay.
Blue, really pretty blue. And I ordered new sunglasses. And the sunglasses are like tortoiseshell with like an orangey butterscotch thing here
So where's the blue?
all over. It's going to
Oh,
be fun. I have to change the background.
I know.
Okay, I'm going to work on that. Anybody have any suggestions for a background? Let me know because I need a new background. Okay. So I am starting to write a book or books, and not crazy about writing. I like writing little bits, like poignant little bits of things, but I don't like writing. But it's been suggested that I write. So I've been listening to some things from Jack, what is it, Canfield, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, and I love people's stories. And is a testament to this that I've been loving people's stories and working with people's stories for years and years and years and years and years. So I'm writing a book about conflict, and the name of the book is In Just One Afternoon, and it's going to be all different, like a series. So the first one may be how to make peace with your best friend, how to, resolve a conflict with your lover. I'm going to do all these different ones in just one afternoon. And I'm looking for stories. So if any of you out there have a story that you would like to share in your own words, I'm not going to write it. I want it in your words, not mine. Please let me know. You can email me to Marilyn at reenchantplanetearth.com above my head and let me know. They should be about 1,000 words. It could be about anything. It could be that a conflict that's been resolved. Maybe it's something that hasn't been resolved. Just anything, any kind of disagreement, anything that's been uncomfortable. It could be about somebody in the grocery store. It can be about your best friend, your lover, your mother, your sister, your brother, anything about your children, anything that you have and that you would like to share. Please let me know. We're going to do a whole series of them. And I think it's going to be extremely healing, powerful in the fact that we have to take a look at conflict in a different way than we're looking at it. I think a lot of people look at conflict and don't want to go there. And they find themselves there and then they don't know what to do about it. And we shy away from it. And I want to write something and show how conflict is it's a discussion. It's into me see. It's any one of these things. It's misunderstanding. It's not asking the right question. It's being confused. It's being distracted. It's being on a different page. So what? It's all of these things, and I think that we need to take a look. I want to take a look and really show how conflict doesn't have to control us. And in return, how we can make a difference in a very short time. It doesn't take a very long time to acknowledge something, to share something, to recognize that you're on a different page, but you don't have to kill each other because you're there. So I want to write these books, but I need your help. So I am reaching out, and I've posted on Facebook. I've posted it on Google+, and I've had several people in the last 48 hours since I've gotten brave and posted it that have said, okay, I have a story I want to tell. If you have a story about bullying, even the ones that didn't, and it's really important, even the ones that didn't get resolved, it's okay, because we're going to take a look at them and we're going to say, okay, what would have happened if, or look what happened by them doing this, or look what happened because they talked about it. Look what happened because they decided how to pick and choose what they wanted to fight about. Whatever it is, there are lessons in our stories. And I really want to share it. And here is a quote that I found the other day about stories that I think is really powerful. Storytellers, by the very act of telling, communicates a radical learning that changes lives and the world. Telling stories is a universally accessible means through which people make meaning. Chris Kavanaugh. And I'm going to say it one more time. Storytellers, by the very act of telling, communicate a radical learning that changes lives and the world. Telling stories is a universally accessible means through which people make meaning. And that is very, very true. And I think that, and I shouldn't even say I think, I know that through our stories, we get to see each other's humanity. And we get to realize more and more that there's more and more of us's out there. That I am not an us by myself. And you are not an us by yourself. That we are all us's together. And together, we can pull together and share and get strong, break all those things that people have made things up about. And conflict is one of them. When I became a Superior Court mediator, one of the reasons I became a mediator was because I didn't like conflict. And I have never hardly met a mediator that liked conflict. And then one day I realized it's a tool, that is all. It is a spiritual tool for getting along, for acknowledging each other, for recognizing that something is out of whack. And just understanding what's out of whack and using our language to support ourselves makes a big difference. Let's see. Okay, Chris says she's really excited about my project. Yes, I am too. And I really do.
We all are.
Who says that?
I say.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Why are you?
Because one of these days I'm going to be able to say, I knew you when.
Well, that brings something to mind when you said that. Do you remember Noah? You remember Noah Guthrie, the guy that we had on the show a while back?
Noah, yeah.
The singer, the young guy, the singer.
Teacher.
No, not a teacher. A young guy. He sang on the show. Once he had his guitar. He had a great voice. Noah. Do you remember him?
I remember Noah.
Fabulous singer. Fabulous singer.
And?
He is on the Glee for their final season. Heck yeah. This is what's so great. You know, when you think about it, who am I? Who am I?
You were Marilyn.
Oh, yeah, I know that. But in the scheme of things, you know, so anything is possible. You reach out to people, you knock on their door, and all you say is, could you, would you, please? And sometimes they say, like what, 2 weeks ago we had this great entrepreneur guy here who was one of the co-founder of MapQuest, sorry. When I say that, I'm like, yes, because there are lovely people out here. Lovely people willing to share. And everybody wants to share. Not everybody. Many people want to share. Many people want to open up and make a difference. And even in our little world of the Breaking Free show, we have an opportunity to impact somebody. The world.
Been impacted.
Yes. Somebody, something, right? So these books that we're getting ready to do in just one afternoon is going to do that as well. And I would ask, and I ask you really from the bottom of my heart, to please work with us on this. Okay, so we're going to be doing our shows like this. We're going to have guests again, for sure. But we want to do our shows like this so that we're talking about things that are happening. Love to have you call in. Love to have you talk about anything. I don't care. You want to call in and ask advice? Perfect. You want to call in and give me advice? Perfect. You got a joke? Great. Call me with it. You got a great quote? Great. Share it. Whatever. You got a recipe? Let's hear it. You live in a certain life? Let me know it. Okay, here's Kathy. I know that was random. What? Oh.
There's only one problem with that approach.
What?
That the people need to call in.
Yes. Call in. I mean, unless you just want to hear from me. But I think you really would love to call in. Okay, what is she saying here about?
So this could be another whole show. What? Oh, well, she's got a whole thing back there.
Yeah, many caretakers, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I didn't read it yet.
Okay, so many caretakers aren't equipped to provide guidance in developing emotional intelligence. I think more needs to be offered to children of all ages, more than just once a week in the early grades. There is only daily focus on academic success. There's a lot more to success than the test results. Emotional intelligence can help provide better academic success. So, okay.
And then she said this could be another whole show.
So, doing what? Doing that with who? With caretakers aren't equipped. So, are we talking more about emotional intelligence in general? Kathy, is that what you're talking about? Let me know, because that's a really great. I love talking about emotion. So please let me know. Is that what you're?
A lot of kids today. I mean, they're not developing emotionally because they're not being guided toward that. Oh, and hey, pass this test.
Right. They don't. You get your hand slapped in school if you're a nice little boy who kisses a nice little girl just because it's cute. But then again, you see this little. I don't know if you saw it last night on that video show. What is it? It's like Candy Camera used to be, and they showed a picture of these two little kids kissing each other, and it was so cute. Did you see that?
No.
It was so cute. I mean, yeah, talking about these things and how we've made some things wrong, but I think Kathy's onto something, because a lot of people are so scared to acknowledge their emotion, and they don't know what to do when somebody is emotional, and they want to, make it go away. So instead of addressing it or even hugging someone, letting somebody be emotional, it's okay. So okay, we'll do that.
You can't even hug somebody.
No, you can't. I once when I taught
They'll get you in trouble.
Well, when I taught special ed, I taught middle school several years ago, many years ago, and I had one of my kids was thanking me for something, and he came and hugged me, and the school. Can you see?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like I did something wrong because this kid was just expressing himself because nobody had done anything for him before, and instead of acknowledging that he had those feelings in him that he could express, that he's still living a terrible life, still had these feelings in him that he was allowing himself to express to somebody, they wouldn't let him, or they made it wrong.
Yeah.
That's a bad message.
It's very bad.
That's a bad message. So I love that. We will certainly do that. I mean, that's a great idea. So if you have a topic, even if you don't want to come on, but you have a topic that you want me to talk about, you go right ahead and send it to me. Marilyn at reenchantplanetearth.com. Because I'm not alone. You're here with me, and we'll talk. And we'll share information, and we'll get articles, and we'll dissect these things, because that's what it takes. So, it has been fun. I have enjoyed myself immensely. I hope you have too. Amnon, you had fun today?
Thank you. Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you everyone that's been on the chat. Kathy, Chris, Amnon, Suzie Ani. I saw somebody out there earlier by the name of, I think, Fish. If you haven't been on the chat today, next week's a whole new week. You can come there and join us. You can call
most
in.
of them have not been in the chat.
Most of them have not.
Yeah.
But we would love you to come and talk. So let me know what you want to hear, what you want to talk about, what's on your mind, and what's in your heart. And so until next week, I am Marilyns Shannon. This is Breaking Free. It's all about freedom, people. It's all about freedom. Love you. Bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyns Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCBVI members, The Tanya Love Show, Your Healthy Pet with Gisela DiCarlo, And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.